Welcome to the Rustbelt Outdoors Adventures. This is episode 1. On this episode, MaryEllen and I recount our third date where we took a kayak trip across the Allegheny Reservoir. On this trip, things got a little bit hairy, but it was still a great time. I hope you enjoy. So it was our third date where you texted me and asked me if I wanted to kayak across the Allegheny Reservoir and camp overnight.
Yeah,
You'd known me for what, 3 weeks?
yeah. 3 weeks. Would have been longer than that.
Yeah, you're right, because I guess I did bail on you on a date prior to that.
Did you bail on me?
I think it was before that, because there was that trip you wanted me to go to West Virginia with you, and I said that I would, and then at the last minute I said, never mind, I'm going hunting.
I don't remember that. I was so mad at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was at the very last minute because otherwise I wouldn't have cared. But I was like all ready, and if you weren't going with me, I could have left way sooner and whatever. And it was like the day before, or the day of, and you're like, "No, I'm going hunting."
Yeah, I don't remember if that was before or after the Allegheny trip, but regardless, we'd known each other for a couple weeks. We'd only hung out. That, like I said, that would have been the third time that we'd ever seen each other in person.
Yeah,
And you want to go to the middle of nowhere with this dude that you don't know.
exactly. Why not?
I mean, I guess it worked out.
Did
4 years later.
almost 5.
Almost, yeah. Coming up September.
5, yeah.
Yeah. So we get there, and well, I guess before we get there, I packed everything that I owned.
Oh, you packed your whole entire closet.
I had rain gear. It was a one-night trip. I brought rain gear. I had 3.5 gallons of water. Because of the Allegheny forest rules, we had to get firewood to take in. So I had that. I had enough clothes that I could have spent a week in the woods. It'd been perfectly fine. I think when we went to Zion, I took less clothes to Zion than I did for that Allegheny trip.
I think you're right. I think we only packed the 2 suitcases to Zion because we had our gear, all of our bags and everything.
Yeah, packs and tent and that stuff.
Yeah,
Like my pack's too big to carry on.
right. Mine would, but it's always a risk.
Right? Is it going to be too big? And
Yeah.
they check it last minute.
Or is there going to be room in the overhead compartments, and then they
Mhm.
check it, and then all your stuff's all messed up, and all your little things that hang off are all messed up now. That's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So after I bring everything that I owned with me, we get there. It was a gorgeous day, especially for early October, late September, early October.
Yeah, I think it was early October.
Yeah, it was absolutely beautiful out. Probably mid 60s, low 70s, somewhere in there. Light breeze, felt really nice.
Yeah, it was really nice. The humidity was pretty low too.
Yeah. No bugs that day,
Mm-mm.
and water temperatures were still relatively warm.
Yeah, the water was pretty warm yet.
Which was surprising. Mm. We got about halfway across before we were dodging boats,
It's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
waving our paddles around, trying to get these people to see us. No clue if they do or not, coming straight at us at like 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, well, you still had the red kayak at that point.
Yep.
So you would hope that they would be able to see you, but I don't know that they did. Mine was blue and probably blended right in with the water.
I don't know. That water's not very blue.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
It's good.
It's pretty murky. Yeah. I don't know. I still don't know that they saw us. So
I don't know. I mean, the white paddle couldn't have been that easy to see on the background of the sky. And your paddles are that like tealish color, so those definitely didn't stick out at all. Maybe we should get like yeah, just so we can be seen. Oh,
yeah. It was about halfway across before we started noticing, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna die today.
yeah. And then we ended up half a mile from where we were supposed to be
Yeah.
because my map reading in land nav wasn't what I thought it was, apparently. I
No.
was off by an entire point.
It was so bad. We were supposed to camp at a campground. I think we even paid for the campground technically, because I think you had to pay for it at the parking, and we didn't realize that, and we had to pay for parking too.
Yeah, because we were looking for cash. I think we stuck them with $1 in quarters.
Yeah, because at the time, I mean, I had some cash with me because I was going to West Virginia very often, so you never knew in the middle of nowhere when you would need cash, but yeah, no, I didn't have much at that point.
Yeah. So we do make it across, dodging speedboats and whatnot, get up on shore, and we realize, for one, that we're in the wrong spot, and for two, there's like 10 other people that are there. Maybe not quite that many. There's a handful. It was a
I
small
wouldn't
group.
say 10. I'd say like 5
Yeah,
to 7,
it was a
maybe.
small group.
Yeah.
But we did luck out because where we were supposed to be, there was like 20 people over there.
Yeah, there was a bunch of people over there, but there was also a toilet over there
Well,
too.
that is true. That is very true. Although at that point in time, the toilet wasn't that big of a deal for us,
No.
you know. But so where they were had the prime spot. They were right at the boundary of how far you had to be off the water, and they were right at the edge of the rocky shore and the tree line, and they had easily the prime spot to camp. And I don't think there was any oak trees over where they were at, which played a pretty big role throughout the night. I remember we got up there. We found a nice spot to camp. Somebody camped there before. There was a nice little fire pit. It looked like somebody made a table out of some sandstone and whatnot.
I think it was like a grate there or something too, like a
Yeah,
grow grate or something.
something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, which is weird because I've looked on the map and there's no trails into the backside of
No.
that.
No,
So
there's no trails into the backside of that, so they must have brought it over with the boat. But you could
yeah,
probably park some sort of like John boat up there. You
yeah. If
probably
you
would
had
be
like an
fine.
aluminum hull, you'd be
Yeah.
all right. I mean, it's very rocky right there, but
Right.
with an aluminum, I
I
think
think
you'd
you'd
be
be fine,
okay as
yeah.
long as you came in gentle.
Right.
Yeah. But it was a fairly nice spot. We got camp set up, and as we're setting up camp is when we had to start dodging the acorns.
Yeah, the acorns were bad. They're always bad right there.
And that year, in that particular spot, that was a really heavy mask year too. So they were dropping. It seemed like 2 a minute,
It
if
was
not
terrible,
more.
and it was terrible all night. It
Yeah,
kept me.
smacking off the tent, bouncing everywhere, thumping in the leaves. But you had made a bunch of foil packs at home.
Yes.
Brought them
Yeah.
with us.
Yeah, I think I cut up the New York strips.
I think it was. I
I
think it
think I
was New
did,
York
just because it
strips.
was going to be easier than
Mhm.
trying to eat like a caveman and eat it like that.
Yeah.
I cut them into little bites, and then I did squash and
Mhm.
zucchini. Did we do corn that night? I don't think we did.
No, we didn't do corn that time. We have since, but we
Yeah.
didn't
I
that
don't
time.
think we did that
Yeah.
time. Yeah, it was just that.
Yeah. I don't know if I was just starving or if the food was just that good, but I remember it being really good.
Yeah.
You know, you brought in a decent amount of butter and a decent amount of olive oil.
Always got to have lots of butter.
Yeah. Because I remember thinking, like, this is a lot of butter. We're going to attract a lot of animals. Because we had nothing. We didn't have a rope to hang anything with. Nothing. I mean, that's black bear country. Not that black bears are, I'm not worried about them, but I also don't want to have to deal with one in the middle of the night shredding our stuff.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, and I should have known better because I had been backpacking at that point for a while.
Yeah. But nothing came. I don't even think there was a raccoon that came.
No, which is quite surprising.
Yeah. Especially because everybody else had food too that was
Right.
nearby. So I don't know. They were probably over at the other campsite where all the other people were.
Probably. We had a really nice sunset that night too.
We did.
I
Yeah.
caught a really good picture of you fishing.
Yeah, there's that big rock right on that
Yes.
point. I was standing on
Mhm.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
caught
I
a
think
nice.
you were fishing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. I still have that picture. That was my profile picture for a while.
Was it really?
Yeah, after you took it, that was my profile picture on Facebook for a while.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. I caught a nice. It wasn't nice. I caught a smallmouth that night. It wasn't bad. Decent little smallmouth. Tried to catch some catfish at night, and absolutely nothing happened there. But
No,
temperature dropped quickly too.
it did, but it does that time of year, especially next to the lake.
Yeah, the time of year you get those big temperature swings with the sunrise, sunset stuff.
Yeah.
We learned that lesson the hard way too. The next day,
The next day, yeah.
because we woke up early, relatively early, anyways.
You know that happens when you're tent camping. You wake
Yeah.
up when the sun rises.
Yeah, and I remember we went to the bathroom and whatnot. And noticed that our neighbors down below were all packing up and getting ready to go, but we didn't have to be anywhere for at least not till the next day. So we kind of hung out, went back to sleep, I think,
Yeah, I think
for a
so.
little bit, got back up around 9ish, and started actually packing up. And I think that might have been the biggest mistake that we could have made.
Yeah, it was. By the time we got all of our gear packed up and trucked it down to where our kayaks were, the wind was just insane. Absolutely insane. And the waves, I mean, it was massive. There was white caps. And then you have you with your gear, your whole entire closet, weighing down your kayak, because I was not carrying your own stuff. I told you, I think I looked at you when we first started packing. I'm like, you don't need all of this. I do. Okay, I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah, I've definitely learned since then. But that wind, it had to have been sustained 20 mile an hour, and those were 2 foot whitecaps coming straight at us. So everything was coming exactly from the direction we had to go. So I mean, when we were facing that launch that we had put in on, the wind was right in your face. It wasn't even like it was off to the side a little bit. You had a little bit of relief. No, it was straight on.
Yeah, it was terrible. And if you were parallel with those waves, you were probably tipping over.
Oh, especially
For
mine
sure.
on that
Yeah.
sit on top kayak.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way
Mm-mm.
that I'd have been able to stay up. Yours, you would have taken water.
Oh, yeah.
For sure would have taken water.
And it was cold because it was still morning and it hadn't warmed up yet.
Yeah, because I remember I had sweatpants on and a hoodie at that point.
Yeah.
Especially with that wind and everything.
Right, it was definitely chilly.
Yeah, I might even have thrown the rain jacket on. I don't remember. So there, it was useful for something.
I don't believe you put the rain jacket on.
Listen, let me have this one.
No, you're not getting this one. The amount of gear you had was absurd.
It was. I had to have had 3 different base layer sets with me, my rain gear, an extra pair of pants, 2 pairs of underwear at least, 3 pairs of socks. I had boots and tennis shoes. It was just insane.
For one night.
It was
one night. You had the amount of water needed for like a week.
I brought 3.5 gallons of water. Like on day one, the day before when we launched, I had 3.5 gallons of water. I was smart in the morning when I got down to the water and I saw how nasty it was, and I dumped a bunch of it out. Then you told me, you're like, I have this water filter system, and I'm like, yeah, okay. I don't know you. I don't know this water filter system. Like, this is the 3rd time we've hung out. You tell me you did all this research on that. I've seen people's research before where one, Instagram video or YouTube video says, yeah, this thing works great. And that's their research. Trust in this. Now, granted, you do have like one of the best ones that you can get for the money, but
Yeah.
I didn't know that at the time and petrified of getting diarrhea in the woods.
In defense, I definitely have been sick off of water, but that was my own fault because I didn't have my filter at the time.
Well,
And I was trying to make oatmeal. It was in the morning after I had been backpacking, and I was trying to make oatmeal. And instead of boiling the water and then putting the oatmeal in,
oh no.
I just put it all together, and it did not get hot enough, and my stomach was very sick the next day.
I can imagine.
Well, that night, I guess it wasn't even the next day. I had made it out of the woods, so I had just about made it before things started going south quickly.
That's always the best when you're out in the middle of nowhere and you feel that bubble.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it's the infamous bubble. I've definitely had that
Oh yeah,
time or two. Always carry extra toilet paper.
without a doubt. Yeah, or dude wipes or whatever. I don't like the dude wipes, but definitely something.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah, anything.
Although those dude wipes are nice for that little backcountry shower.
It is. Oh yeah.
Pits and stuff.
Oh yeah.
That
You
feels
do the pits and the private bits.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of using it for toilet paper, but I do like cleaning up before going to bed with it.
Yeah. It makes you feel a little bit cleaner.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But anyways, we got down to the water, and like you said, we had 2 foot white caps blowing straight at us, and you've got this nice, beautiful Pelican sit in with the W hull on it, and it just glides.
It's so nice. I still have it. I bought it. I think it was that year. It was in the midst of COVID.
Yeah,
and I bought it.
It might have been the year before.
Yeah,
because that was when COVID was real heavy. Because we met towards the end of COVID.
We met in 2020. No, it was 2020.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, I guess it would have been during COVID.
Yeah.
But they'd started lighting up on the rules at that point.
Yeah, that's true.
So you might have got it earlier that year.
I might have gotten it earlier that year. I know I got it ridiculously early because I went over and I took it to Tamarack. And my friend lived around the lake, and she had to drive that way home from work. And it was so cold out. I think it was snowing or sleeting or something, and I just wanted to get in this kayak so bad.
Oh, so it was like March or April?
It was probably February.
Oh my god.
She saw this person kayaking on the water, knew that I had just gotten my kayak, and she thinks in her head, who in their right mind is on this lake? It is snowing outside. She gets down and just parks, and I'm like, hey, that's Sammy's car. Let's paddle over. I'm like, hey, what's up? She's like, what are you doing? I don't know, you know. I wanted to try this nice kayak out, but it's super nice, super nice. It's got that nice W bottom, so it's super stable.
Yeah,
Slides right through the water.
Absolutely, and that sit on top kayak does the opposite of glide. It plows, especially when you have an additional 40, 50, 60, however much weight worth of gear that I had.
100 pounds of gear.
I don't know about that because at this point I had dumped out most of the water. The firewood was gone. So it was really just clothes, boots, and tents.
Yeah, but they weren't like backpacking stuff either.
No, none of it was backpack. I had no backpacking gear at that point in time.
I don't know. It might have been. It was heavy.
Yeah, definitely was not fun. So I get you launched, get you going, and then you have to take off. Like you have no choice. You can't sit there. If you turn sideways, you're going to take water. Yeah. So you've got to start moving forward. And it took me a little bit longer to get launched. And so there's already a pretty decent gap, 50 feet probably between the two of us at this point. And I'm just watching this gap grow and grow and grow. Like, great. And I'm watching you, and you'll do this, you'll do 3 strokes and then take a breath and glide for a second. And I'm like, oh, that's a really smart idea. Conserve your energy. I'm going to do that. So I tried. I did 3 strokes, stopped for a second, and I went backwards. Immediately, just all momentum gone. I started going backwards. Well, I guess I'm not doing that.
I kept looking every time I would paddle. I kept looking back. I would stop, and then I'd look back, and just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And at one point, I'm like, there's nothing I'm going to be able to do anyway. I'm more useful and better off just to get off of this kayak.
Yeah. I remember I got, I don't know, probably 100 yards from shore. And it's probably, I think it's a mile, the way the crow flies, which is obviously how we go on the boat, from the launch to that point. I think when I did it on Onyx, it was it came up 1.1. So we'll say a mile. So it's a pretty good haul. I think about the time I got about 100 yards from shore is when I realized, this isn't good. My life jacket is buried underneath all of my gear. My gun is in a pocket that I don't know if I zipped or not. Is that going to go? That was the other thing, is I brought 50 rounds of ammunition with me for whatever.
50 rounds?
I brought an entire box of 9mm.
Did you do that? What did you think was going to happen?
My thoughts were, if something happens, it's a 3-round burst to signal for an emergency. Okay. If I've got 50 rounds, I have how many 3-round bursts?
I guess.
Yeah. I've got almost 20 3-round bursts here that I can send off to try and get somebody to come.
I would hope somebody's coming with that many shots.
Right. Well, that was the idea. I sat down because we'd planned this out not far in advance, a couple of days.
It's about a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was towards the beginning of the week. I was in classes at the time, and that's when I kind of planned out, and I was like, I think I want to do this. Let's go from here to here.
And that entire time, I literally just sat there and thought about every possible thing that could go wrong. Literally every possible thing that could go wrong. And I brought something for that particular scenario. So that's why...
Not a better kayak, though.
Not a better kayak. Well, that's what I had, all right? We've since remedied that situation. But anyways, I get about 100 yards out, and I realize this isn't great. So I start untying my boots. Because my thoughts are, if I go in the water, I don't want to have my boots on. I want to be able to swim. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to make it back to the launch because that's the way the current's coming from. It's over a mile away. I'm going back to where I just came from. But I want to be able to swim to get there. So I get my boots untied, and I look up, and you're 100 yards away from me at this point. And I had this moment where I'm like, this... And I was like, no, this is honestly really good. Because... if something happens to her, I'm going in that direction anyways, so I'll be able to do something at that point. And I don't have to worry about myself now. I don't have to worry about her. This is honestly really good for me. I'm in a situation where it is pass or fail. There's no, I can't quit. I can't give up. It's all or nothing here. And I honestly think that was the moment that I fell in love with you. As terrible as that sounds, you're leaving me for dead, and I'm like, I love this woman. I want to spend the rest of my life with her.
Flags. Let me run towards
I was looking at it as well. She's independent. She's handling herself in a really bad situation very well. She's not freaking out. She's not screaming, yelling at me. She's doing exactly what she needs to do, exactly how she needs to do it. So it looked good from my point of view.
Yeah.
I wasn't I know, I know I throw it in your face every chance I get that you left me for dead, but that's not how I was thinking about it at the time.
You're just seeing us flag football, and you're just seeing the red flags and running towards
And
it.
just collect them all. Oh, man. Yeah, so we keep going. And you had to have landed, I don't know. You had to have been 300. I had to have been 300 yards out when you hit the landing. But I do remember I had a moment where I'm just paddling. So I was like, well, I'm just going to look around. And we're like halfway across the lake. And I'm just looking around. I'm looking, I had probably 200 yards north of the launch. And I see this big black thing on the shoreline. I was like, oh, that's weird. I wonder if that's like a log that got washed up or what. And it started moving. And I was like, oh, that's a bear. It's pretty cool. Like, I mean, I know we're in Allegheny National Forest and they're fairly common out there, but it's still, I enjoy nature. I like seeing animals. So it was pretty cool to see this bear. So I watched it for probably 20 minutes as I'm paddling across the lake. Like every now and then I'd look back and make sure I'm still kind of close to where I'm supposed to be going and watch for the bear some more. And it just kind of meandered along the shoreline there and eventually went up into the woods and headed away or whatever. And you never saw that bear, did you?
No, I never saw the bear. No.
I mean, it wasn't hard to miss. It wasn't like it was a big bear, and we were still a good way out at that point. So, like you said, I was probably halfway across, so you were only a little bit further.
Oh, I had tunnel vision, and my eye was on the prize of getting out of that water. 100% tunnel vision. Once we had made our decision to actually go, because there was a point where we were like, well, maybe we could just stay and wait it out. And I was like, no, because if I don't make it home, there's gonna be a search party for me, and I'm gonna feel terrible because I'm not in danger, really, yet.
On top of that, you didn't even tell your mom that you were going with me.
No, I told them that I was going with a coworker.
Yeah. Did anybody know that you were going with this dude that you had just met?
I don't believe so. Maybe my cousin, because I was usually pretty. But I feel like he would have told me not to go.
Yeah.
Probably
not.
Don't do that. What are you thinking?
So your poor coworker, you'd have come up missing. They'd have rolled up to your coworker's house, cuffed, had him in cuffs and in jail. And like, I don't even know what's happening right now.
Daddy, I texted her 3 days ago.
Well, everybody said that she told them that she was going with you. So
and you're home, and she's not.
Oh,
parents knew where you were going.
Yeah, they knew that I was going with you. They hadn't met you yet, but they knew that we were going together. Dad had a screenshot of the map on where we were supposed to be. Now, we weren't where we were supposed to be, but close enough. We already gave the search party an idea.
Your 20 million rounds to shoot off.
Exactly. Somebody had found us. We'd have heard the screaming. I'd have started shooting into the air, and they come over. Not the air. I'd found a tree or something, but still. No, it worked out though. We got across. I guess we kind of trauma bonded a little bit. No, it really wasn't that traumatic of an event. It was really, like I said, there's no choice here. You're just going to have to grit it out and do it. It's going to suck. And it did. Coming across that water was absolutely miserable at the time. But it felt really good.
When we got on,
Once we hit shore and we had a second to catch our breath, we realized how stupid it was. And but it was kind of awesome.
I was like, that was kind of fun. Let's do it again.
Yeah. And we have done it again, although we have learned our lesson. And we lesson
a lot earlier. There was one time that we went and we woke up a little later than we wanted to. And I remember you're like, we need to go. We need to go now.
We packed up. That's the fastest we've ever packed up camp. But we improved. We had much better gear at that point. We had not quite a streamlined system. We have a pretty streamlined system now, but at that point we weren't there yet. But better gear, less equipment on my part. It didn't take me 20 minutes getting all my crap together. And
a better kayak too.
I had a better kayak, yeah, because it was the following summer when I bought my new kayak because we had gone out. It was early in the year. Had to have been April, maybe May. We did French Creek.
No, because we had the dog at that point. And we got the dog in... No, because we got the dog in 21.
Yeah.
No, we would have gotten the dog in 21, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, no, that would make sense.
Yeah, because, it was during the summer. Spring. Because the water was cold. I remember
the water was cold
out that day. And we went across where the dam used to be there by Segertown. And I leaned back a little hard. My straps and the seat and everything just gave out. It was an old kayak gave out. So I didn't kind of had an excuse at that point to go buy a new one.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was. I think that was worth it.
Yeah.
We've tried to do that Allegheny trip now every year. Tried to make it an annual tradition. I know we missed it this past fall.
We did miss it this past fall.
Yeah, things got a little hectic, but we're definitely going to make
we
sure.
were doing other adventures. I think
That is true. Yeah, we did do a lot of adventuring this last year.
Yeah. We took the dog with us the one time.
On the Allegheny trip, yes, we did. Yep.
Yeah.
She did really good.
She usually does.
Until she ran after the deer.
She did run after the deer. That does happen. She's a jerk.
Yeah.
She does run after deer. But yeah, we've taken the dog.
Athena, we haven't taken Hermes.
We've not taken Hermes yet.
I don't know that that's going to happen.
We're just going to need another kayak.
Yeah. They're going to need their own kayak. Tow it behind us.
They would fight.
Give them a two-person. They'll have their
two-person.
They each have their own hole. Not Athena stays in the hole. She
likes
to pretend she's the captain and stand up on the bow.
She is the captain, that's for sure. She loves that. Well, I think it's she can jump off real quick and chase after whatever she wants to chase after.
Yeah, and send your kayak swirling wherever. She kicks off. You do a freaking donut in the water.
It could be worse. Sometimes she'll push you down and you a lot of water.
She dang near sunk you that one day on the French Creek.
She did. That was hilarious, though. There's a little, like a ledge. So you came across like a little mini waterfall, and she put me down right at the very bottom of the water.
That's the same place where I broke my seat.
No, it wasn't.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure it was the same spot.
No.
No? Okay.
No, because that's really deep right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. More than that, it was deep.
We almost lost her on French Creek the one time.
Yeah.
But the one island, we should have been on the water that day.
We should not have been on the water that day. No.
The two of us by ourselves, okay. The dog, no. Terrible idea.
Yeah, that was really scary. I thought we were losing the dog. I don't even think it was that deep there, though. So, I mean, I think really.
That particular spot?
Yeah.
That would have been over my head.
Really?
Oh, yeah, because how high the water was. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that tree was completely submerged, and it had to be 15 feet tall.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, the water was way too high to be out with the dog.
Yeah, we should not have been doing that.
But after we finally got across the reservoir, we got everything packed up, caught our breaths. We went downtown Warren. There's that little diner.
Yeah.
I don't know what the name of it is.
Peppermill.
Yeah. They have pretty good food.
Yeah.
I know we've kind of made it a tradition every time we camp in Warren, we go there for breakfast.
Yeah.
And
it's very rewarding. We reward ourselves with food.
We do.
Definitely shows.
that has been the trend. So when we do something difficult, we definitely go for the food afterwards. Everything's fair game with that.
Oh, everything. It's always the food. It's always the food when you're in those really, really crappy situations. And it's like, oh, I don't know if I can make it. I don't know if I can make it another mile. I don't know if I can paddle this way. And then it's like, no, I've got breakfast.
Yeah.
Got breakfast. I'm gonna have some big pancakes, some big waffles.
Or a little teaser there, that one steak we did in Zion there afterwards. We got that big steak.
Yeah, we went and got that big steak. Wasn't worth it. But,
no, the steak itself really wasn't, but that's okay.
I was so hungry at that point, it didn't matter. The same with this one, though. I was so hungry.
Oh my god, I could have ate anything. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I was sore for days after that. And I was in really good shape at that point, too.
Yeah. It was really bad. That was the most physical exertion that I had done, and I don't know how long. Probably since I got out of the military, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
Other than maybe dragging a deer out, but I wouldn't have drug a deer that far.
Right.
At that point, because we could drive in the lease by then. So, yeah, that was easily the most physical exertion that I had done by one point in time. So it makes sense that we would have been tired and sore.
Yeah, no, but for me, I mean, I had been backpacking at that point for a while.
Yeah, you had.
Yeah, because I was off of work, so all I did was just fish.
Yeah. And were you still training for the Forest Service at that point?
No, I'd given up on that at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I had dropped that a couple of years before I met you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No.
Now it's probably a good thing you didn't go down that route, because the cuts they're facing right now. That's brutal.
No, that would not have been good.
Although there was a judge that a lot of them have been sent back to work. A lot of the ones that got fired have been sent back.
I did see that, yeah.
There's definitely some interesting stuff going on right now politically, but I don't know. I know we enjoy our national forests and our national parks, and definitely try to make the most out of them.
Yeah.
Do what we can for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, every single time we take out as much trash as we can find, or as much trash as we can carry.
Yeah. Oh, that's a whole nother story. Oh man,
Oh yeah, it is.
that'll be that'll probably be an episode in itself.
On the trash.
Oh my goodness. We
Yeah,
probably could at this point do a full episode just on the random junk that we have found in the most random places on Earth.
probably.
In all honesty.
Yeah, yeah, definitely a lot of trash that we found, but
Hmm.
try to get all that we can.
Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, there's always more than you think there is every single time. It's kind
Yeah,
of sad.
it is. It is, but if more people keep picking up and quit leaving stuff, then
Yeah. I feel like we're moving in a positive direction with
yeah,
our generation. It seems like everybody's really taking care of the earth and
yeah, leaving no trace.
yeah, and our natural resources that are not necessarily renewable. I feel like people are doing a lot better job. Littering seems to be going down in the backcountry areas. Seems to be going down. Not I don't know about everyday littering along the highways and that seems to be the same as it's always been. But
Yeah, it depends on the area, though.
yeah,
Some areas, I think the more populated you get, the worse it is,
yeah,
from what I've seen.
right.
But,
But I definitely think that there's a really strong movement right now um, to clean things up and keep them that way.
yeah.
There's a lot of really great organizations out there right now that are helping with that, like BHA, Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. The NDA is doing a lot more than people ever realize. The National Deer Association, they're in a lot of the national parks doing all kinds of different stuff. You got Trout Unlimited is out there cleaning streams up, cleaning up banks. Ducks Unlimited are out getting all the wetlands all cleaned up. There's a lot of really great organizations around that are worth the at a very minimum the volunteer time to go out with these guys when they do a cleanup day, when they do a trash pickup, whatever it is they're planting. It's worth volunteering for. Most of them, I think, are worth giving your money to and becoming a full fledged member. But if you don't have the money, I definitely think you get involved when they do a volunteer event, and it'll help.
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of those volunteer events, they offer you a meal or
Yeah,
whatever, some sort of apparel. So, I mean, I think it's worth it.
absolutely. And you meet people, like-minded people that enjoy the same
Exactly.
things. You get to have
Hmm.
really good conversations. I mean, we did that NDA event in the Allegheny Forest.
Yeah.
That was an awesome day. We met all kinds of people, and we had a really good time.
Yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. But it's nice to be able to talk to like-minded people.
Absolutely, yeah. And with doing work that you enjoy, it feels good giving back like that. When you use that resource, when you use that land, and you're able to go out and have a positive impact on it outside of just yourself,
Yeah.
it feels really good.
Yeah. Yeah, especially just being a woman, because there was what, one other woman there
Yeah, at that
at
actual
that
event
event?
that wasn't part of the Forest Service, there was you and Megan, who was a representative from the NDA. So,
Mm,
although she was volunteering her time there, she's still with, like, she's been a full
right.
time employee with the organization, but it was still really good.
Yeah. I think it's important to, represent that there are women that want to be out in the great outdoors and want to do
Absolutely.
these things. I definitely think that it's a good thing.
I think so too. I think we're moving in the right direction all the way around.
I think so.
All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as we enjoyed it when we went on the trip. As always, thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. And remember, take someone outside.